And you just confirm your suspicions.
I'll just courtesy for you then.
Okay, I'm here at the Gateshead Hilton with Dennis Hobson ahead of his show on Saturday night at Gateshead Leisure Centre, Resurrection. Dennis, great to see you.
Great to see you. Great to be back here again.
Yeah, it's just, you've become a bit of a resident of the North East of England now, aren't you?
I've got my green card already. So yeah, I love it up here. Great people, make me feel welcome, and obviously I've put 2 major world titles on up here, and hopefully it's not the end of it. We're going to lead on to some of these smaller shows that we're doing. Give kids the opportunity to go on to bigger and better things and get on the world scene, so that's the plan.
Well, I know a lot of the guys on the local scene appreciate because you're actually giving them the extra exposure that they're getting out there. Mm-hmm. People like Phil Jeffries has been doing a fantastic job here over the last few years. He's been behind the resurgence of the boxing in the region, but then for it to go to the next stage, someone like yourself coming in, giving that extra boost and exposure, it's been fantastic.
Yeah, I love it, and Phil's a great pal of mine. I've known him a few years now, and you know, it's great achieving things, great being involved in big shows and stuff like that, but it's great to be involved with proper people, and it makes it, you know, one of the conditions I always say in any business, we've got to have a little bit of fun along the way, and that's what Jeff is all about. And great working with Lewis and Ronnie, and obviously Mark Rizal, and there's a few of us up here now, and we can all work together, and gives the kids the opportunity, and instead of them having to go and fight on other people's shows down south, they're in their own town, they can sell tickets to local, you know, the family and their friends locally, they get the support, gets that extra little bit out of them, they feel as though they're going somewhere and as though they're part of some kind of movement, and it's a hotbed up here, the talent is in abundance, passionate as regards sports fans, so why shouldn't we be making their way, and why shouldn't we be bringing other world title events back here?
Exactly, and obviously you had Stewie Hall representing the area very well in recent times, and now obviously headlining the show this time you've got John Lewis Dickinson.
Yeah, and I believe, like I said earlier, that John Lewis is the premier cruiserweight. He had a little hiccup in his last fight, but he wasn't beat up, he got caught cold early on, and he'll have learned from that. You know, I think he thought that was going to be a walk in the park, and maybe his preparation wasn't what it should be, but I think he'll absolutely benefit from that night. Like I say, he didn't get beat up, and if you think about, you know, the 2 cruiserweights, what were in that high profile fight on Saturday, for me, John Lewis, I'd take either one of them tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean it's funny, I was talking to John before, and fight fans seem to have very short memories. I mean, he won prize fighter, he won the British title, defended it 3 times, won his Lonsdale belt outright, and then he loses one fight, and all of a sudden people are saying, questioning him, you know. But it's the fight before that, the Neil Dawson fight, that was generally looked upon as a more dangerous fight than the Mackenzie fight at the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he dealt with him fantastically well. But on the night with the Mackenzie, I mean, I was ringside for that one. He didn't look himself. He didn't look his normal, assured self when he was in there.
I think you're right. But I think, like I said earlier, I think he'll have learned from that.
Yeah.
It's a great education. And like I said earlier, he didn't get beat up. He got caught cold, and it can happen to anybody. I mean, Mackenzie's a strong kid. He's a big puncher. And he got a bit complacent, John, like you said. His demeanour, his focus wasn't what it should have been. But I'm pretty sure, talking to him now, it is. He knocked us back as regards his progression, because I got something lined up for him on the world scene. But, you know, he'll come back on Saturday. I'm pretty sure he's looking for a great performance. And then it's upwards and onwards. For example, Amir Khan, he gets knocked out by Prescott. Next thing he's fighting Barrera in a high-profile fight, and he's off going and winning the world title. So, you know, one fight doesn't mean defeat. It's like Craig Dixon and Lee Mullen. One of them is going to lose an undefeated record. That doesn't mean to say it's the end of the career. You can learn from these kind of fights and then come again. Billy Joe Saunders fighting Chris Eubanks. Fantastic matchup. Yeah. Fantastic matchup. But the loser, it's not the end of the career. Let's go on in the States. That's why they get it right in the States. A defeat, an undefeated record, is not the be-all and end-all. Sometimes you keep that undefeated record for too long, and when you get tested, hold on a minute, I should have had better preparation for this. So, you know, like I said, sometimes a defeat can help your career. Sometimes fighters are willing to take a chance because they've seen a loss on your record.
Yeah.
Think, well, if he's beat him, I can beat him, and and styles make fights.
Yeah.
And that's what we should be looking for. Some great matchups at the right fights, the right time, and like this on Saturday for me is better value for money than any of that what you saw on Saturday on the TV.
Our mutual friend Phil Jeffries, he was actually ringside for that. Apparently the ringside tickets were £300 for that, and I mean beforehand, I'm not going to knock Sky, I'm not going to knock Eddie Hearn, but when the show was made,
I'll do that for you.
all right, yes. But it was as soon as when I read that it was going to be pay-per-view, I thought it was a wind-up, and all the way in the build-up you can add fighters on, but if they don't have the relevant challenges, and having a name on a bill for me isn't enough. You want to see fights, you want to see challenges, you want to see the home fighter win, but if you get the home fighters not getting challenges, there's an element of you want the underdog to win.
Absolutely, it's no good to anybody, no good to the prospect, if he's not getting challenged. And like I said earlier in the press conference, you won't want to watch Liverpool or Manchester United playing Crewe Alexander or Accrington Stanley every week, because you know what's going to happen. It's just how many they're going to score, and it's like on Saturday, the left-hand side of the bill is going to win, but it's just a matter of which round they're going to win or whatever. So that's no good for the game.
No.
And they should get done under the Trade Description Act. It wasn't a proper, fair, entertaining show. It was just one-way traffic, not balanced. So for me, our show on Saturday is a lot better value for money.
Well, there's certainly some challenges there. I mean, with the Lee Mould and the Craig Dixon, you've got two guys going in undefeated, very similar to the Saunders and the Eubank.
Yeah.
But also going in there with great dignity. There's no bad blood. There's not calling at each other, having the face-to-face. There's no issues.
Nobody's saying they're going to eat each other's kids and stuff like that.
But you don't need to have that bad blood. It's almost as if certain aspects of the media are clinging onto that too much and trying to sell on the back of that. But
I mean, look, I'm a big believer in a little bit of you can have a bit of pantomime, but
no, you can't.
You can.
Sorry.
Say it again.
He's behind you.
That's it. So you've thrown me a bit now. So you can, but the bit of pantomime is great for the game, but don't force it, because you can tell if it's forced. And like Eubanks, it were all a bit of tongue-in-cheek stuff. I mean, I tell the story earlier again today. Muhammad Ali transformed the sport. He got his gimmick off a wrestler called Gorgeous George, who used to prance about saying, "I'm the greatest." And he thought, "I'll have a little bit of that." Now, that's great if it's natural.
Yeah.
Now, don't just do it just for the sake of it, because you see through it. And certain fighters want to do that, certain promoters want to do that. Today, like you're saying, mutual respect, that fight speaks for itself.
Yeah.
It's a proper fight, two undefeated kids, it's a proper fight. Sometimes a little bit of pantomime, we can create that sometimes, the promoter, and it's our job.
It's part of the show, but like you say, it has to be genuine.
Don't just force it. Don't force it. And sometimes it's forced. That on Saturday, we were having, calling each other out at different shows and stuff like that.
And then hugging afterwards.
Load of whatever.
Yeah.
But I never fancied the fight. The two fighters, for me, they've been found out at light heavy, so where else have they got to go? They've got to come to cruiserweight. John Lewis Dickinson, for me, takes them to school, and I think it'd be great fights in prospects in the future. Get rid of the politics, let's make it happen. But we'll go in a different direction if we need to. But yeah, the fights on Saturday, is the great fight for me is Lee Mould.
Yeah, that's the one that stands. I'm looking forward. All of the fights that are on there, I'm looking forward to for different reasons, but
Absolutely.
that one's the one that's really caught my attention.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to seeing Louis, Scott, and Bazza. And there's some smashing kids prospects coming through. But that's a great pick and fight. Obviously, John Lewis want to get his career back on track. But I'm pleased to be working with Lewis Pendleton and Ronnie Rowe at Fighting Chance on this show. Like I said, Jaffa, big pal of mine, and in the future I'm sure we're going to do some stuff together, because obviously there's Tommy, Martin Ward, there's Glenn Foot, Kirk Goodings, there's some talent up here.
Yeah.
And the other mob, other side of the road in the matchroom, they, they're signing kids just sometimes for the sake of somebody else can't get them.
Yeah.
We don't need to do that. We can build nice and steadily under the radar, and then when we're ready to go for the major titles, that's going to happen. When they've served their apprenticeship, had the experience, win or lose, they'll come back and get their wins, and the guy who's in, who's the most progressive will go and fight for something. But it doesn't mean to say the kid who loses, like Lee Mould or Craig Dixon or whoever it might be, it's not the end of the career, and we'll bring him back.
Yeah.
Whereas like on the other mob, they might not bring him back.
Yeah.
Say, oh, discard you've done.
Yeah, bring another one in.
You're just a number. With us, you're not a number. We will progress you, and if you fall a bit short of one of the fights, one of the events, then we'll bring you back and we'll go again.
As you have done with John.
Absolutely, and that's what we're going to do for either one of these two kids on Saturday, whoever gets beat, or any of our kids who's on the left-hand side of the bill on Saturday. If one of them were to have a bad night, we'll bring them back.
But they deserve that, especially Lee and Craig, because if they are willing to put their unbeaten, they should be rewarded for that, not punished.
Absolutely, and that's what they do in the States. Like I keep saying, a defeat isn't the end of your career, and like I said, it won't be the end of either one of their careers. It's the two genuine kids, and they're exciting kids. And if one of them falls short, they'll come again. If it's either on our next show or the one after that.
Now, obviously, one of the lads who's on the show, Lewis Scott, you've had him on one of your shows before. You've had him down the catwalk as well, I believe.
I've had him down the catwalk. I've took him on the pads at my gym. I got on really well with the family, and Lewis is a great kid to work with. He's got a glint in his eye.
Snappy dresser.
Snappy dress, a little bit like my Solomons after my mantle. But they're great people to work with, so that gives me a bit of a buzz. And you've got that extra mile when you think somebody's genuine when they're working with you. And you think, if we can achieve something together, forget about the money and come after, but let's go and achieve some success, and let's get him as much money as possible. Well, let's go and win something first.
Yeah.
And that would give me a great buzz to see Lewis win something, because I know we'd have a bit of fun doing it.
Definitely. And also, obviously, Mark's got another fighter on the bill, Bazzi Razak. 2 fights, 2 knockouts.
Baz is really exciting. Got a lineup of kids who's either won a British, won a Commonwealth, and going on the world scene, or they're in final eliminators. That's what we're looking at. We want to get
entertained on the way there as well.
Absolutely.
With the right fights at the right time, the right challenges, as opposed to.
That's the plan. Again. That's the plan. Just trotting up an undefeated record. Don't do anybody any.
It'll get you so far. Get you so far.
Yeah, because it's like there's no substance to it. Yeah, first few fights to get the experience and stuff like that. And then we've got to have some tests. You've got to have a challenge, like you said earlier. You've got to have your challenges, and if you don't, you don't know what you've got in the locker. And like I say, on Saturday we'll find out from one or two of the fights what they've got in the locker.
Now you've also got Andrew Buchanan on the bill now, but I'm not sure if you've actually seen him fight before. You've probably heard good things about him though.
I have, and Louis speaks very highly of him, and like a lot of people up here do. So I'm looking forward to see Andy fight. And
it's great to watch.
Is it? Really. So I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, it's a hot bit up here. I love it up here, and like you said, I look round when I'm driving through some of the outskirts of Newcastle and Gateshead, and I think I could live up here. I could. Good people, great sporting,
down to earth,
down to earth people, and they love the sport. And I'm a massive sports fan. Played football up here, semi-pro. Played at one or two of the clubs here, and you get that feeling. They compete, they'll kick you, and scratch and whatever, just to try and win, which I would have done as well. Yeah. But after shaking hands, and let's go and have a drink in the bar, and let's go and have a bit of food. So I love the attitude up here. So love coming back. So I'm not going to be any stranger up here. I promise you.
Well, you've got an open invite all the time up here, Dennis. Thank you very much.
Great people.
And I'll see you on Saturday.
Look forward to it.
Cheers, man.
Thanks, Bob.